It's coming up. It's coming up. It's coming up. It's there. Hello. The Emperor's Children project is smashing it. More Emperor's Children right there, right next to me. I hope you guys are not sick of Emperor's Children yet. I'm not sick of Emperor's Children yet. There's more coming. And there's the battle report for Winter's Wednesday's channel members tomorrow. More Emperor's Children. We're doing Emperor's Children. We're going hard. If by the end of the year, I haven't had complaints, letters written harshly to local MPs complaining about the amount of Emperor's Children on this channel, I feel like I would have not done my job correctly. So, hello. Welcome to this Talking Tuesday live stream with me, your host, Winters SEO. Tactical rocks are a thing. It took me a long time to figure out that they weren't a thing, but they're a thing. We had the Adepticon reveals at the weekend, which we can talk about. There's a few other bits that I've written on my list that we can talk about, but I'm here with you for this. This is the high quality Warhammer live stream content that you guys get. This is what you get. You get me talking to you. What are we talking about? What do you mean they aren't a thing? The tactical rock, you see. I was going to buy the shit out of that thing. You pre-ordered yours. Nice. Hi, friendly neighborhood inquisitor. Hello, the eternal creative, not bedvenving the John Petty Jackus Woods from France. Andy H. I wasn't sent a tactical rock by Games Workshop, but golly gosh damn it, crikey. I would have stood on that thing. I would have been perched on my tactical. You need a tactical rock. I think they should have definitely sold it. They should have definitely, because it's April Fool's Day. I thought maybe I'd start this Talkie Tuesday live stream with a couple of Empress Fool's Day things like, hey, hi, I'm Winters, and I'm definitely collecting Craftworld Eldar. It's my new army, and I just knew that wouldn't, one, it wouldn't be funny. Two, it's Eldar. Who would believe me? But three, there'd be one or two people that would poke me on that one for the next 5 years. So I couldn't have that hanging over me. It's April Fool's. I know. I figured out it was April Fool's at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So the tactical rock thing really had me for a while. And I was like, this is awesome. This is great. It had me for a while. Yeah. I mean, jokes abound today. I mean, jokes. You want to hear a joke? I went to the doctor the other day and said, I'm being chased by luggage. And he said, well, that's the worst case I've ever seen. Because luggage and the case, because it's like you have medical cases. I think jokes are funnier when you have to explain it to people. So, new Space Wolves Codex. Got one yet? I cannot confirm or deny whether I have things before I'm allowed to confirm or deny I have things. I can say, actually, that I haven't. Because whenever they put up these reveals on Adepticon, and I know you need to explain the jokes, of course. Told that to my therapist. He said we should unpack that. Badum-tish. See, because unpacking, because it's got luggage. You have to unpack. Yeah, so I saw my doctor, worst case, and then you saw your therapist. We should unpack. That's good. I like it. It works better when you have to explain it. Yeah, when they do reveals, like at Adepticon or wherever they do reveals, they're months in advance, right? These like the Mechanicum stuff. Examples. There's examples of stuff that they say this is coming, and we didn't see it for months afterwards. So yeah, I don't. These reveals that you have seen and that we have seen, I sometimes get before the NDA comes up, before I can start talking about it. Sometimes I get the stuff like a couple of days before. Literally a couple of days before, and sometimes I get it like weeks and weeks before. Who knows? I probably shouldn't even say that, but that's what happens. It happens that way. That's how it happens behind the scenes. So yeah, but I definitely have no further information than you guys have about any of the Adepticon reveals. I mean, the Space Wolf thing looks quite promising, doesn't it? I've had a few Space Wolf people talk to me about the Space Wolves thing, saying that they're quite excited about the Space Wolf things. Are you excited about the Space Wolf things? Or more importantly, what reveals at Adepticon, what reveals at Adepticon were you most excited about when they revealed the reveals at Adepticon? I think the new Cathay army, that for Old World. Are we worried about AOS? Is AOS the 4th tier now after Warhammer 40k, Horus Heresy? Then does it go Old World and AOS? AOS falling all the way now? Space Wolf reveals number 1. 15 to 18 Space Wolves units are going bye-bye. Quite the hit. So what they do is, you've got to remember that there's going to be wave 1, wave 2. So behind the scenes, lots of the old stuff for Blood Angels, Dark Angels, Black Templars, Space Wolves is getting Primarisified. And in part 1 of the Primarisification of stuff, they ditch a bunch of old units and just release some of the chunk down. Like a good example also is like Karandras in the Eldar book. Like they've got new Phoenix Lords, and Karandras they talk about actually in the book itself how pivotal he is, and then amongst the Phoenix Lord releases we don't get a Karandras model. So they Primarisify a bunch of stuff, re-release a bunch of stuff, new minis, new stuff, and tone down the range and say, here you go, hudunk. And then when we get the next lot of Space Wolf stuff in 4 or 5 years' time, wherever it will come out, then all those bits that they didn't update, they'll stick in round 2. Then they'll stick it in there. Another good example is like Terminators. We've got lots of new Terminators in in Warhammer 40k 10th edition. Got the new Terminators, but what about Assault Terminators? See, so and then they'll come out and so they all that stuff is done. It's all done. The stuff that they've sold you before, they're going to sell you again, but there'll be a gap between the things. So Space Wolf players finally get Primarisified stuff, and then they'll get more stuff back. But what does the chat think about the Adepticon stuff? The characters are lush. The new Space Wolf models are okay, not as full on as the current range, but it's a good start. Interested in new Thousand Suns robots? The Thousand Suns robots. I saw a meme which is like, hey, am I your favorite automata? And there's the Thousand Sun new automata, and the Thousand Sun is like, yeah, you're definitely my new favorite automata. Yeah, you are. Yeah. And then he looks to the Heresy automata and goes, no, actually, you're my favorites. Because those Thousand Suns automata, I mean, maybe they're a grower. Are they? But you look at the automata that they've got in Heresy, and then you look at those skinny ass bitches that they've got for the new Thousand Suns, and you're like, do we want to do? I mean, Disappointed World Eater's only got one model. Yeah, are they going to get any more? Are they going to get some Juggerlords? We need Juggerlords. We need World Eaters riding Juggernauts, like this Ride of the Rohirrim, like for death and world's ending. That's what we need, right? We need that, and we got one guy with a chainsaw arm. Honestly, the paint job they gave to the automata make it look bad. The Legion Castellaxes are cooler though, regardless. Yeah, the paint job. I mean, they look okay. They kind of reminded me of Inspector Gadget Stiltman from AdMech. That's what they reminded me of, you know? Expecting much more with World Eaters. Where are my Khorne Berserkers on Juggernauts? That's what everyone's asking. Where are my Khorne Berserkers on Juggernauts? They will sell them by the boatload. Imagine Khorne Berserkers riding Juggernauts. We've got the Lord Invocatus, that guy. You know, the Invocacar, him. Kaka! Name that movie reference. I bet no one gets that movie reference. Kaka! Bet no one does. That is obscure AF. He's just an 8-pound that ate all the pies. They ate because of what they ate. Andy H. Evolution. Jackus Woods Evolution. You got the references? Man, that's such a good scene. Brilliant. Thousand Suns Wraithguard when the Marines are already Wraithguard. No, the Thousand Suns, they do like putting souls inside of robots. They do like putting souls inside of robots. There's a long history of them doing that. Anyway, we're locked in for this Talkie Tuesday live stream. I've got my water. Got my water looking a bit pinkish today because of the electrolytes in it. I haven't got a mug for the mug club. Hello, everyone. Hello, subscribers. Bang that like button, by the way. I think that's what live streamers are supposed to say. Please hit up the like button. Got my water with my electrolyte tab in it. Got to stay hydrated. We're rocking some merch. So hello, subscribers. Hello, mug club members. Hello, everyone watching in the VOD squad, the VOD squad afterwards. Thanks for dropping by. I don't think I said hello yet. Did I say hello? I think we've established that caca and tuki don't work. Yeah. Evolution, man. I like it. I think it's good. They sort of leaned into the Ghostbusters feel, didn't they? You're so beautiful to me. Yeah, we can stop with the evolution quotes now. There's only about 3 people who recognise what we're actually talking about here, but it's good. It's good. It was good. That just, yes. Where is my brain going? What are we talking about? Adepticon. Any more stuff from Adepticon chat? Anything that you liked? Anything that you didn't like? The Space Wolves looked good. It is a good film. It is a good film. The Space Wolves look good. It looks like Lightning Claws are back. Beakies are back. The idea of different marks of power armor having different characteristics seems to be something Games Workshop have not leaned into that much with this new edition. Yeah. Sold my car. Check bounced. Maybe my last stream. Black rage after work. Sorry to hear that, Blood Buffalo. Prancing Duck is in the chat. How a little teenager. Welcome back. Do you think they are removing the Thunderwolf Cavalry because that was rumoured around the internet? Do I think they're removing Thunderwolf Cavalry? I don't think they'll remove Thunderwolf Cavalry. I wouldn't be surprised if they do remove Thunderwolf Cavalry, because everything is getting Primarisified, and Thunderwolf Cavalry in old armor, in old size stuff, wouldn't necessarily fit in with the new size of stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do get rid of it. I don't think they are. And if they do get rid of it, then I think they'll bring Thunderwolf Cavalry back when, not in this edition of Space Wolves Codex, but in 11th edition of Space Wolf Codex, they'll bring the Thunderwolf Cavalry back. Just Primarisified Thunderwolf Cavalry later down the line. Because that's the kind of thing they do. And, yeah. And it works, Thundercav, and it's so iconic, and it's such an important unit, and it looks cool. Space Wolves riding not wolves. What is it? Hello? What do you want? I'm talking to the internet. What? You want to go in the wardrobe? Check for monsters in the wardrobe. Have a check for monsters in the wardrobe. Let us know if you find anything. Let us know if you find anything. How was tea? It was lovely. It was good, thank you. What are my hopes and fears for Heresy 3.0? First up, my hopes and fears for Heresy 3.0 is that it isn't a 3.0. Between Heresy 1 and Heresy 2, they released a Heresy 1.1. They released a Heresy 1.5. So they didn't update the rules. They just tightened up the rules. And that's my hopes for Heresy 3.0. I hope that the Heresy and Old World release cycle is much longer than the FOMO Rush AOS 40k release cycle. And so, what I'd like to see is another big box. You know, we've got the Age of Darkness box set with the Heresy rule set in it. And you can get, and it's like, it saves you lots and lots of money. It's a banging box. What I'd like to see this year or next year is a new Age of Darkness box set, big chunky one with, say, an Arquita Bombard in it and Heresy Mark V, Horus Heresy pattern armor in it, and maybe a new something new inside the box, big and shiny, and everyone buys 3 of them. Say there was the Arquita Bombard in there, a couple of Saber assault tanks, and 30 Heresy Mark V Heresy era power armor. That would be perfect. And inside that is a new Age of Darkness rule book where the rules have just been tightened a bit. That would be lovely, just to tweak that ass. You know what I mean? Tighten it up a bit. He's in his donut. Jackus Woods, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. You are absolute legend. Can we have a big cheese in the chat for the kitty and for Jackus Woods donating 5 memberships? I appreciate you, sir. Thank you very much. Very kind. Thank you. GG's. If you are donate and Friendly Neighborhood Inquisitor, thank you for gifting 1 membership. If you have been gifted a membership this evening, then you've got tier 2 memberships. Tier 1 gives you the custom emojis and things like that. Tier 2 gives you access to the Winters SEO Discord. Tier 3 gets you access to an extra bat report every single Winters Wednesday. And if you've been gifted a sub, you can upgrade that by going along the thing and clicking on it. It's £1 more. And then that will give you access to tier 3, which will be all the Winters SEO Wednesdays battle report things. Please support the channel, just like Jackus Woods and Friendly Neighborhood Inquisitor. Thank you for supporting the channel. Absolute legends. But yeah, Heresy 3.0, I hope they don't do. I hope instead there's a new box set, say, with breaches in it. 30 breaches with shields. Arquita Bombard in plastic, and let's say a Rapier team in there, all in plastic that we haven't seen before, and it costs half as much money if you get them all in a box than if you bought them separately. And then everyone in Heresy and everyone who loves Heresy will end up buying 2 of those boxes. I'll end up getting 2, well, because sent one probably, hopefully, and then buy another one as well. That would be absolutely banging. And I think what Games Workshop should do, if I was in charge of Games Workshop, I would have the churn cycle of 40k and AOS. I'd have 2 on a churn cycle and 2 on a Old World Heresy cycle, where it takes long, not a churn. Like Heresy and AOS, Old World, since they got released, the rules haven't changed, the points haven't changed. Whereas 40k, since they've been released, the rules have changed and the points have changed 1,000 times. So you've got different things for different people. You're appealing to different audiences, different collectors, different hobbyists. Those people who want to, I don't know, I think the churn cycle in 40k is pants as well, by the way. I think it's pants as well. But from a business point of view, I see why they're doing it. But they need to have some stable, non-churn cycles for us old geezers who can't keep up with the churn. I can't keep up with the churn, and I work here. So that's what I'd like to see. A little tighten tweak with the rules. When it comes to Heresy 3.0, though, them actually releasing Heresy 3.0, Heresy 2.0 is an evolution of 7th edition, which is an evolution all the way back to 3rd edition. I hope it continues in that vein. It just evolves the rules bit by bit by bit. I think they need to look at Deep Strike, maybe bring people back together in a clump. There's a couple of rules that they need to look at. There's a couple of points costs that they need to look at. I've got no problem with certain units being really powerful, so long as they are appropriately costed. So I've got no problem with Horus Ascended being 1,000 points, because a toughness 8, 3-up invulnerable save, 4-up feel no pain Primarch should cost 1,000 points. I've got no problem with the Primarchs being stupidly. They could all be 1,000 points and they could all be unkillable. They're Primarchs. I've got no problem with really powerful units as long as they're appropriately costed. So they need to look at some of the points, I think. I think they also need to look at some of the rights of war. So the generic rights of war, for example, there's a chunk of generic rights of war that no one ever takes for various reasons. The ones that people might take are the Recon Squad and are the Pride of the Legion and Fury of the Ancients rights of war, which are like, for 40k players who don't know, they're kind of like detachments-ish. They're different ways that you can organize your army. And there's a chunk of the rights of war in there that don't get a look in. So I think a couple of them could be looked at. I think there should be a breacher right of war. I think there should be a veterans right of war when you bring in mainly First Company, which isn't just Pride of the Legion. There should also be like a destroyer company right of wars. Destroyer companies are a thing where you can take destroyers as troops that gain line. There's a few types of rights of war that they could look at, a few different things in there. So just giving people more options to play the game how they want to play the game. One of the problems that I have with 40k right now, in a general sense, is the Pariah Nexus, Leviathan deck, and the new deck that's coming out. Like 40k right now has got one way to play, which is that one official way to play, which is that deck. And I think one of the big misses that they had in this edition was there should have been 6 generic missions in the main rulebook. So you can play any one of those generic missions in the main rulebook like you used to be able to do forever. Why there's only one main mission in the main rulebook blows my mind. There's always been a chunk of different missions. So you could play the Relic, or you could play Big Guns and Avatar, you could play this. There's something in there which is accessible for new people, like, oh, I'll play that one. And I think there should be multiple Leviathan, Pariah Next. There should be multiple matched play competitive decks. So certain events might be playing deck A and certain events might be playing with deck B. And I think there should be an open war deck for totally casual, weird, wonderful games. I think there should be there should be a Maelstrom of War deck where it's only secondaries, no primaries. The fact that there is there should be more ways to play 40k officially. Now, you guys do what you want, and I do what I want, and there's lots of other YouTubers that put other different ways to. There should be more ways to play 40k, and as a business, giving people permission and giving people more options to play with their armies in different ways seems like it's a no-brainer for me. No-brainer for me. Why that isn't a thing in this edition blows my tiny mind. Wraith Raider, thank you for your 24 months. That's a long time. Can't stay. Just popped in to make sure you're on target. I'm not on target. We don't have a target today, I don't think. I'll catch up on the VOD squad. Hope you covered all the important A roads. We haven't touched A roads yet. 303, A419, classic A roads. Classic A roads, the 303. I mean, there's a song about them by Kula Shaker. It's that good. But I'm not sure we have a target this evening. I hope rights of war that were introduced in second edition will be kept. Corrupted Emperor's Children right of war are so cool, even though they aren't the best choice. I enjoy collecting miniatures to fit into these. GW is appealing more to the tournament fiends. GW has always been appealing more to the tournament fiends. They've leaned into that since 8th for some reason. Because they're the whales. The tournament people who'll pay to catch up and pay to catch up and pay to catch up with the thing will spend more money. It's like those buying battle passes on computer games, right? The casual player who comes into a computer game, plays it for it. They don't spend as much money as the people who chase the thing, and buy the battle pass and unlock the gun and then pay for the new skin, and they spend a lot more. Math people have done math, and those people spend £1,000 more than these people. But the people who chase disappear again. The people who are the project people, or the hobby people, who are in it for the long term, they'll buy a chunk and they'll work on it. and they'll build up a nice collection. And once that collection's done, they'll buy a chunk of something else and work. They're the long-term people. And then it doesn't have to be one audience. There isn't one audience. There are loads of audiences. There's the little Timmies getting into the hobby. There's 13-year-olds getting into this hobby. Who'd have thunk it? Warhammer is not for kids. Have you read about Cormorant and the Dark Eldar? Have you heard about Slanesh? It's definitely not kid orientated. It should have an age restriction of 25 and above. But they could appeal to the kids. They can appeal to the Americans. They can appeal to the Penguins. They can appeal to and I say Americans because Americans like big explosions and winning and tournaments, and they love that. They can appeal to Canadians who just wanna play AOS with dwarves and be nice to each other. They can appeal to lots of different audiences, lots of different people. They can appeal to the casual crowd, the kill team crowd. There's more than one audience, and they should have stuff for all the stuff and things. All the stuff and things. You just described my hobby life since COVID. Which bit? I had so much more fun building a list in Heresy for Mechanicus. See, that's another thing. You had so much more fun building a list in Heresy for Mechanicus than 40k. Do you remember when list building in 40k was a thing? Sitting down and writing out a list and figuring out the list. And now they brought in power levels in 8th edition, and everyone hated it and ignored it and stayed with points. So they tried to get us into power level again in 9th edition by tweaking it a bit, but there were still points. And so in 10th edition, they were like, screw you guys, we're bringing in power level, which is points. But it's like, this is 50 points, this is 100 points, done. No. Do you remember actually writing a list and figuring out, well, how do I put that in there? And that's part of the fun of the hobby, is writing the list and talking the list through with your pets. Like, come here, kitty. See this list I've done. It's genius. It's exactly 3,000 points. I've got Artificer everywhere. I even put a 5-point Volkite Serpenta on the captain to bring it to 3,000 points. I'm a genius. To put in context, I'm just shy 6k nits, 5k Death Guard, 3.5k of Necrons, and my daughter has just over a 1.5 of Eldari. Bad parenting right there. You let your daughter collect Eldari. Where are we? Kids these days don't know about giving a random character a plasma pistol for 5 points to get that 2k crack gap. I know, right? Kids today don't know about the plasma pistol. They don't know. It's kids today. They're missing out. They're missing out on the list building aspect of the game. Building lists, talking through lists, adding the bits and the things, and that was part of the fun. That was part of the fun. Heresy Squad is a member for 16 months. Thank you for your 16 months at tier 3. He did a thing. You definitely did a thing. Thank you. Or rolling a 1 on that overcooked plasma pistol and killing your character. See, that's another thing. All the re-rolls. Do you remember when 1s were bad and 6s were good? You can still get that with Heresy and Old World. Did you wipe? No, it wasn't one fun when people demanded WYSIWYG. It wasn't fun when people demanded WYSIWYG. At tournaments, of course, you need WYSIWYG. People demanded WYSIWYG back then, and at tournaments, you need WYSIWYG now. It's always been official, and it is always official at official events. But amongst friends, you're like, that guy's got a banner. Has he? Okay. That guy's got Artificer armor. Okay. Is it really demanded? Is it? She's 6. The daughter with Eldari is 6. Okay. But couldn't say no to her. And like them, my middle daughter is getting into, okay, right, Gene Stealer Cults. Okay. If she's 6 and she likes the the ones, See, that makes sense. A 6-year-old daughter, all the pretty colours, the yellow ones, the green ones, the blue ones, the pink ones. That's the Eldari, right? All the colours of the rainbow. Skittles. Do you remember when 10th edition was touted as being simpler with hardly any rerolls? Yes. I love the idea of blast templates. My tanks make big boom and that feels like... Yes, Heresy, it's still there. I don't see why other external people and companies don't make campaign and narratives books. It doesn't have to break the copyright. Yeah, there are, Stuart, there are many... what's the word I'm trying to think of? Community, that's the word. There are many community campaigns, narrative books, rule sets. One-page rules is the thing. I've been sent community rule sets by people saying you should do this and you should do... There is plenty of meat on the potatoes out there if you want to look for something different and different ways to play. There's house rules that you could do between yourself. There's all sorts of things that you can do. It's out there. It's out there. But why doesn't Games Workshop have more than one way to play Warhammer 40k? Like Secret Level exploded. It was amazing. Loads of people watched it. And then Space Marine 2 exploded. Loads of people watched it. And then people bought some stuff and then start playing. And like, how do I play this game? Well, you can start with Combat Patrol. Nice and simple. But then here's 40k. And here's this deck. And this is the primaries. And this is the secondaries. And this is actions. And this is... Whew, that must have been a hard sell for some people. Imagine if there was an open war deck. Or there wasn't any decks at all. There was 6 missions in the main rulebook. Like, Space Marine 2 was amazing. Secret Level was amazing. I've got some stuff together. How do I play this game? Here's the rulebook. Here's some missions I can play. And then played them. I mean, hell, in the Horus Heresy rule set, there's 6 core missions in there. And I've played 200 games of Heresy since 2.0 came out. And about 3 or 4 of them have been not the ones in the main book. Most of them in the ones in the main book. Because you've got 6 different ways of deploying, 6 different missions, and loads of different... There's no 2 games feel the same. Thank you, Simon Templar, for gifting a membership. Absolute legend. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Basically, Games Workshop make the best models, but they do everything else really badly. See, the thing is... GG, Simon, thank you. See, the thing is, Games Workshop, 10 years ago, share price in the toilet. Now, share price went up 2,000% in 10 years. So, from a business point of view, all the people upstairs and all the bosses, they're like, yay, we're tactical geniuses. We're yay. It is undeniable that from a business point of view, they've made lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of money. And it's undeniable from a business point of view that they've protected their IP so well that the IP now is worth more than the actual miniature side of things. It's worth more. But they don't know the audience at all. They make great miniatures, but there's so many quick wins. So many things they could do to make so much money, and they just... it blows my mind. Matthew Common, thank you for your 13 months. Not regretted it once. Thank you. Thank you for supporting me for 13 months. It's a long time. The best models? I've seen the new Blood Angels. Games Workshop is a model company first and tabletop game company second. Yes. It was founded on that. They made the games to sell their miniatures. When they... merged with Games Workshop merged with Heavy Metal Citadel Miniatures all those years ago. I mean, Games Workshop started out as a distribution company for games, for geeky games, and their big break was when they got the European distribution rights for Dungeons and Dragons, and then that's what made them. And then there was another company called Citadel Miniatures that was making lead miniatures for people who wanted to get lead miniatures of the games that they were playing. And Games Workshop started making a few games themselves and commissioned Citadel Miniatures to make the lead miniatures for a couple of games that they were doing. And then that was actually quite successful. So then they bought Citadel Miniatures, joined, came together, a marriage made in heaven. And the games were a way of selling the miniatures, and the miniatures were a way of selling the games. Lead, back in the day. The first bit of plastic to come out, plastic miniatures, was 1986 with Rogue Trader, Warhammer 40k. If you came to 40k now with no knowledge whatsoever, but just an interest in the hobby, you would run away, screaming at all the nonsense you need, and that's just the app. Yeah, I think if you came into 40k now, though, there is Kill Team and there is Combat Patrol, right? So if you're starting the hobby and if you're looking at a way of getting into the hobby, you can buy your two Combat Patrol boxes, smash them together. You can start. There's ways to start, which there wasn't before. You know what I mean? Nothing beat the days of lead-based paint and licking your brushes. So many happy memories. I know. I like the taste of Dawnstone. It's favourite flavour. And the corn red, though. I don't know what anti-mold stuff they put in the corn red one, but that one tastes foul. Don't eat paint. Particularly don't eat corn red. Corn red's awful. 3D printer all my rules. Yeah. Games Workshop need to release that realise that the hybrid app codec system is unpopular and annoying. Yeah, they do realise that the hybrid app codec system is unpopular and annoying. They know that. They don't care. It makes money. I would love to have a free digital rules. I think digital rules free and online all the time. Why not? Why not? I guess you don't like the cornbread either. Oh dear. Yeah, but some Combat Patrol is just not good and can't go wrong with blood from the blood gods. Yeah, of course. They won't change the app until we all stop buying the codexes. How do you fix the app codex thing? How do you fix it? I think the way to fix it is, how do you fix it, chat? I don't know. I got some ideas. I put all the rules online for free all the time and make the codexes without rules in it. Make them like lore, narrative, painting, supplements, hobby, editions. Like if you're a Space Marine player and you haven't got the Space Marine Codex and it hasn't got any Space Marine rules in it, are you really a Space Marine player? And you make it a sumptuous book that doesn't have to update and doesn't have to chase the editions and doesn't have to make it with maps. We like maps. Maybe with some missions in it. Maybe with some good character story. It could be a beautiful, beautiful piece like the old Imperial Armor books and stuff. I don't know. But their books make money. The app makes money. All the things make money. Everything. Warhammer Plus subscription gives all free codexes. Yeah, they could do Warhammer Plus subscription gives codexes. That could be a thing. The app should be a gateway for the hobby, not a money maker. Yes, the app should be. Free rules. Make the money back in the narrative mission lore books. Yes, if they had free rules and make the money back in the narrative mission lore books, that could work if the narrative mission rule books weren't absolutely pants like they are. Matthew Common, thank you for your donation. He says, put codexes in ring binders. That makes crazy sense. If they were actually like little clip-on ring binders and things, and then when they release a data slate upgrade, they could change it on the app, and then they could also say, hey, chuck away page 96 and print off new page 96 and stick it in your ring binder. And it could have, in the page 96 could have had 4 different data cards on it, but one data card could have had the AP changed a bit, and the other 3 are the same. But it's fine. You chuck away that way, you print it off, stick it. That makes crazy sense. That makes perfect sense. What else we got? Codexes should just be amazing collectible art lore books, no rules in them at all. That's why, yes, Yes. Yeah, and have printers in Games Workshop stores to replace the pages with the newest rules if you want to. Yeah. I mean, there will be printers in Games Workshop stores, right? They'll have printers in there. So you could go in there and say, hi, what are you collecting? I'm getting my new Spaceballs box. And I've got the thing with the thing. It says, hey, have you... And the guy behind the counter says, you do realise that page 96 has changed. You'd be like, what? Yeah, here you go. I'll print it out for you. There's news page 96 for you. Take it out your ring binder. Stick 96 in. There you go. But if the books were always good with the ring binder stuff, and so your ring binder codex rules were always up to date because you could take out a page and put a new page in. If the books actually had the rules in it, then you wouldn't need the app because the books would actually have the rules in it. Like part of the reason why I haven't touched Adeptus Mechanicus since they changed it and changed it and changed it again is because I don't have the app. I don't have the app. Shock horror. I just work here. You don't need the app. You don't need the app. All you do is you just don't play the army, which is unplayable now without the app. That's what you do. They are allegedly distributing free detachments. Allegedly. Why not make all... They are already, not allegedly, they're already distributing free detachments. Why not make them all free? How about, hear me out, crazy idea incoming. They just get the rules right. Imagine them getting the rules right when they launch an edition. Old world rules have not been touched since that came out. Heresy 2.0, over 2 years now. They haven't touched those rules since they came out. They don't have to touch the rules. What happened before 8th edition was they would release codexes and rules, and then a few months later, and sometimes never, they would release a FAQ or an errata, and that was it. And some editions, you went from one edition to another edition without ever getting a new codex. Dark Eldar, famous example. Grey Knights from 5th to 7th, famous example. It's completely skipped an edition, zero codex. What happened was the tournament scene didn't lose their mind. And all of it, you did, well, what about the tournament scene and the thing, and we need the most update, and the points need to go up. No. They didn't lose their mind. Everything was fine. Just that if you went to an ITC tournament or WTC tournament, there would be an event pack, and in the event pack, it would have, the organizers would say, hey, by the way, you can only bring one of these. Or, hey, by the way, if you do Orc, Speed, WA, knobs on bikes, then these are the restrictions here. In the pack, the tournament people sorted their own shit out. It was amazing. Games Workshop, like, here's the rules, those rules. Do you have a tutorial for the orange glow on Death Guard? DG, do you have a tutorial for the orange glow on Death Guard? I don't know what you're talking about. When you say DG, I'm assuming you mean Death Guard. Thank you for your donation, by the way, Marcus. Appreciate it. $2. Freedom money. The orange glow on the Death Guard. Do you mean... Yeah. On some of the Death Guard. Yeah. The orange glow on the on my Death Guard, I've got this what is it called? Nurgle's Rot, which I put on my 40k Death Guard. If you mean the Heresy Death Guard, that was in the latest battle report. I didn't paint it. The Heresy Death Guard in the latest battle report that came out on Sunday was painted by Den of Imagination Painting Studios, the greatest painting studio in the Sol system. I didn't paint it. I have no idea what they did. It's like magic. Some of the paint schemes that come back from Den of Imagination, like on the Death Reaper model or Horus Ascended, I look at it and go, talking as someone who's been painting for more than 30 years, I pick up some of these models that they send me and go, I don't know how they did that. How did they do that? I don't know. It's magical stuff. So on the new Death Guard in the latest battle, sorry, thank you for donation, but no is the answer. They haven't touched the rules on Legions Imperialis since release, and that's working fine. One or two things would be nice to have fact, but otherwise, no problems. Yeah. Yeah. It is a choice to... See, this is the thing. There's a fine line between leaving the rules alone and then people get abused for ages, or balancing them all the time and then they get abused. Do they... Where is... It doesn't matter what they do. If they release rules and they don't balance them and they're going to get abuse. And if then they're going to get lots of abuse. And if they do it a little bit, like in 8th and 9th, they only tweaked a little bit, then they're going to get abuse. The internet likes screaming. The internet likes screaming at them, so they get screamed at. And here we are. And it's rules 40k. I mean, it would all go away if in 11th edition they announced that all the rules for 40k will be free and online. Done. And I mean, they want to sell their app as well, wouldn't they? So what you could do is release all the codexes and all the rules free and online. And then when they update the stuff, if there's any changes, any stuff, and you need the app. And if you want the army, they could just, you need the, I don't know. I mean, are they going to... Hey, if you want to play Warhammer 40k, you need to buy Warhammer Plus. And then Warhammer Plus gives you access to all the things and all the... 11th edition, even the idea is just mad. It's next year, mate. This time next year, 11th edition is coming. Insinuating they got it wrong 10 times now and are still trying to figure it out. We haven't had Chess 47th edition. Yeah, but the thing is, like, we're playing 10th edition now. If we were still playing the same edition, if Games Workshop edition hadn't changed since launch in the 1980s, would we still be playing it? Would we still be playing it? Don't they need to change the rules a bit? Not leave it the same game forever and ever and ever. Marcus hasn't played a game of 10th. The fact that each codex release closes the app off makes no sense. Buy this. Yes. Every game of 10th I play makes me wish I was playing 8th. Yeah. See, that's the thing. It's like 8th was an unmitigated success. Why don't they just... 11th edition is like, go back to... You know, like in Call of Duty, they go back to Verdansk. I don't know if any one of you knows about Verdansk and Call of Duty and Warzone, but it was a bit of a thing. And on tomorrow or the next day, they're just going straight back to what they did at the start, because no one plays it anymore because it was terrible, all the things and all the changes they made. They're going straight back to what made the game so big and popular in the first place. It's undeniable that the most popular, most successful edition of Warhammer 40k was 8th edition. Why don't they just, like 11th edition, they say, hey, 11th edition, and they announce it in the run-up, is going to be very much like 8th. It's going to be a version of 8th edition. Why don't they do that? Base rules for different armies in the main book. Then you can pay for the app and get all the additional armies. Yeah. We get hype for the models and the box sets. The rules don't need to change. There will be new stuff. You could leave the rules the same and just have new stuff. I think they got 4 main games. Old World Heresy, AOS, and Heresy, and I think they should be on a 4-yearly... They could re-release one every 4 years. And I think the changes between each release, there should just be a tightening. There should be an improvement, like 8th edition to 8th to 9th to the. It's too much of a change. There should be. It should be an improvement. So 11th should be an improvement on 10th, and then 12th should be an improvement on 11th, and then they could do that every 4 years. There could be a re-release with some tweaking of the rules and an improvement of the rules. 2nd edition Heresy is an improvement of 1st edition Heresy. 1st edition Heresy was essentially the 7th edition rule set, and 2nd edition Heresy was let's put stratagems in it, which are reactions. So in 40k you've got stratagems. In Heresy you've got reactions. And reactions and stratagems are essentially a similar mechanic, which are a way that you can interact with the rules in a non-standard way. And you can also interact with the rules out of turn. So, for example, your opponent shoots you, and you can say Armor of Contempt, or Pop Smoke, or da-da. I've got some interaction with you while you're playing your turn using my stratagems and some of the things I can do. And it's the same in Heresy. I've got some interaction with you using my stratagems and my reactions in your... So, 2nd edition Heresy was an evolution of the 7th edition Heresy 1.0 rule set that they had. They put that in it and a few wounds. They took wounds out of 8th edition. So Dreadnoughts used to be vehicles and Skimmers used to be vehicles. Terminators always had 1 wound. They made 2 wound Terminators, 3 wound Terminators in the sense of Grave Wardens. They put extra wounds in there and introduced the brutal mechanic. So it's an improvement on the rule set, and I think 2nd edition Horus Heresy is one of the best. I'm playing games. I've been playing games for over 30 years. All sorts of different war games, strategy games, board games. I've been playing hobby games for a very long time, and I'll be playing hobby games until I go blind or can't paint anymore or I'm dead. It's just in my blood. I'm a miniature hobby collection hobbyist, and of all the games I've played, Heresy 2.0 is one of the best rule sets I've ever played, because it brings that setting to life. When you're playing it with the best opponent, with the best lists, at its best times, when the lists are relatively balanced, when you're playing with someone with the same intention of you, who knows the rules as well as you, and the books come alive. The books, it feels like you're playing a Black Library novel. It's so good. 40k, I want a more accessible, more fun, more beer and pretzels kind of game. 40k, I wanna throw dice, get drunk, laugh, have fun, press buttons if I'm an orc so stuff blows up. I want to teleport myself across the battlefield by mistake if I'm an orc. I want weird, hyper-powered Necron weaponry, one-shotting tanks from the other side of the battlefield. I want my Space Marines to feel like Space Marines. 40k, I want it to be fun, beer and pretzels type of gameplay. And 8th edition nailed that. 8th edition nailed... It was really good fun. And they had an open war deck, so you can play casually if you wanted to. They had a Maelstrom of War deck, which was no primaries, it was all secondaries. And the tournament scene didn't lose their mind, because the tournament scene said, okay, what we'll do is we'll mix the primary rules from the main system and the Maelstrom of rules from and we'll put them together and we'll play it that way. And it was one of the most, when you look at the metadata, it was one of the most balanced editions of 40k as well. The metadata was all it was sweet. Having said all of that, I've played every edition of 40k that's come out. I played 9th, I played 10th, I'll play whatever's in front of me. So, and I'm just hoping that 11th is a better version of the system that we have now, and 12th is a better version of that, and I'll play whatever's in front of me. Because I'm a mini guy. I like the minis. I like my painting. I like the tactile. I like the list writing. I like being in a room and throwing. It's something. It's in the bones. It's in the bones. We all have hobbies. Some people wear ridiculous clothes and chase a ball. They hit a ball and then go to the ball and then they hit the ball. Golf is one of those weird hobbies where the goal of the hobby is to play less hobby. If you want to play golf, your goal is to play as less golf as possible while looking like a twat. People love that sort of thing. 40k, you can look like a twat all the time. All the time. Wear a flat cap, throw dice, say nerdy things, look like a twat. It's just built into your bones. There's different hobbies. I love this hobby. I miss Hero Hammer. Agree, no rerolls. Me and my friends miss Hero Hammer. Get rid of the reroll stat. Removing rerolls on Deadly Demise summarizes 10th entirely for me. Feels like the fun police. Removing rerolls on Deadly Demises. There should be less. See, it's a dice rolling game. I like rolling, like Blood Bowl. I got back into Blood Bowl recently. It's ridiculous. You get thrown into the crowd, get torn apart, you get bumped. Blood Bowl is essentially a skirmish war game where you're trying to beat the crap out of each other with a moving objective. That's all it is. There's loads of skirmish war games. You've got Mordheim, Kill Team, skirmish level war game. Marvis Crisis Protocols is skirmish level war games, and then and we like rolling dice. I like it when a 1 happens and the person's head blows up. I like it when a 6 happens, and they're like, okay, I've actually hit you on a 6. 6 is to, I actually hit that, and now I need a 6 to wound, and then boom, and then it works, and you get the 6 to hit, and it's amazing. Games Workshop, like, 6s to hit, are they a thing now? Because you get plus or minus 1 to hit, but you can't have plus or minus 2 to hit because we're terrified of making things hit on 6s. It's just, what? We like Games Workshop. If you're listening, we like rolling dice. I don't know if you know Games Workshop, but all the games that you make, all of them, most of them, or let's say all the games that you make involve rolling dice. And we like it when you roll a 1, it's like, oh no, if I roll another 1 now, the guy dies. And you roll another 1 and he dies. And oh no, we like that. And if you roll a 6 for a thing and it explodes, we like that. We like it when horrible things happen and glorious things happen. We like it when dice tell the story. That's what we like. We like the dice. Stop taking away my dice rolls with all the re-rolls on top of the re-rolls on top of the re-rolls. It's okay if I shoot a flyer flying through the sky with a las cannon through a set of trees. It's okay if my las cannon can only hit that flyer on a 6. That's fine. It's a flyer, las cannon, trees. Okay? If there's a guy right in front of me and I've stood still with the thing and I'm an orc with the thing, it's okay if I throw 28 shots at it. We like the dice rolling. Dice rolling is good. More dice rolling, please. Less of the re-rolls, please. 10th edition, the least re-roll edition of all time in the history of time, has the most re-rolls in the history of time. We like the dice rolls. It's okay for things to whiff more. It's okay for... Too many factions. Plenty of breath. Fuck all depth. The Dagda coming in there with the big F word. The days of dice jail when you roll multiple 1s with that dice. Yeah. Play bolt action if you want tough odds. Some hits require 6s, followed by another 6. Yeah. I bet the rules writers really hated that one guy from Warhammer community that said there was going to be less rerolls. Dice roll rant would make a good short. Okay, I'll put... Thanks, Jackus Woods. I'm glad you're here. Because you know the thing that I said at the start of the year, like I want to do this differently and have some more shorts and have some more clips. I've been looking and there aren't very many clippable bits. But that was at the minute mark. There's a dice roll rant. I'm writing it down on my pad. Dice roll rant. It might actually make a good short. So, have a Traitor Guard army, 2 Death Guard armies, 2 Emperor's Children armies, a Renegade Knight army, and the 13th? Have you ever considered building custom dice Chaos Warband? I've also got Necrons and Grey Knights and Adeptus Mechanicus and Orcs and Tyranids. So no, I haven't considered building a custom Chaos Warband. Right now, I'm working on a non-custom warband. The Echoes of Ecstasy. My Emperor's Children. We're starting to creep back into the whole mass of dice rolling on 10th. It was something I didn't miss from 9th. Nothing really sticks to its actual stats with all the... Yeah, that's the other thing. So, I mean... What is the stat of a thing with modifiers in the game? Hey, this is toughness 4. You're shooting at me with strength 4. Yes, but I got +1 to wound. Or I've got pluses or minuses to AP. Or I've got pluses or minuses. The stats move around. Here's the thing. 10 Space Marines firing at a Warlord Titan in Heresy do 0 damage. 10 Space Marines charging a Warlord Titan in Heresy do 0 damage. And then the Warlord Titan kills them. In the lore, 10 Space Marines firing, shooting, assaulting a Warlord Titan, dead Space Marines. That's the lore, that's the rules, that's how it should work. In 40k, you can have 10 Space Marines firing at a Warlord Titan with +1 to wound, so they're wounding it on 5s with increases to their AP, so they actually chip away a few wounds off of it. And then when they go charging in there, they can actually have pluses to wound and chip a few wounds off of it. Do we see a problem? Space Marines should not be able to hurt a Warlord Titan at all. Ever. In the history of ever. But that's another rant. Unless they're First Claw in Soul Hunter. Unless they're First Claw in Soul Hunter, but then a lot of people had to die and he had to cut the thing and stick the melter bomb in the leg. And that's after strafing it with a Thunderhawk gunship and bombing it with a Thunderhawk gunship while the Land Raider shot at the same time to pop the shield, and then he could stick the thing in with the melter bomb, and then he only blew up its ankle and it fell over. But yeah, it's a glorious bit of the book. It's a glorious bit of the book. I am doing the Night Lords trilogy right now. Unless they're a named lieutenant without a helmet. Nice. New rule: if the toughness of a unit is 3, it's just something. Yeah, that's a whole other conversation about whether Titans in 40k are. Then 40k, the 40k rule set isn't designed with Titans in mind. Arguably, it's not really designed with Knights and Wraith Knights and Super Heavy Tanks in mind either. It's not designed with that in mind. Titans in mind. So we'll leave them out of the 40k conversation for now because they work well in the rule set that they're designed to work well in. I need a physical copy of the Night Lords books. I just can't listen to the stupid vampire voices on Audible. Yeah, I have a problem when it comes to Audible. If it isn't Toby Longworth or Jonathan Keeble, I struggle. And the guy who does the narration for the Night Lords trilogy on Audible, I think it's Adam Thingybob. He's okay. I'm hanging in there. But if it isn't Toby Longworth or Jonathan Keeble, I tend to struggle. And there's also a lady narrator as well. She does the Beckwin lot and a bunch of other stuff. She's really good too. Because when you listen to an Audible book, there's a difference between someone reading a story to you and someone telling a story to you. And the best narrators are telling you a story. The narrators who aren't as good are reading the story, and you can tell the difference. And have you listened to The Master of Mankind yet? No, I've read it a few times, but I haven't listened to it. So I'm up to book 30. Where are we? Age of Darkness. So I I am going through the entire Horus Heresy series on Audible for the first time. I've read the entire Horus Heresy series more than once. All the way through twice. And certain sequences, certain books in the Horus Heresy series I've read a lot. Like the first 4 I've read like 6 times. Betrayer I've done a bunch of times. No Fear I've done a bunch of times. Master of Mankind a bunch of times. Mechanicum done a bunch of times. There's certain books out there that I've done a bunch of times. But I'm going through the entire audio lot of the Horus Heresy because, you know, what else is there to do? It seems like a good hobby goal. Go through the entire Horus Heresy. Yeah, and some of the narrators are good, and some of the narrators not so good. Is there a problem with the Master of Mankind on Audible? Is it? Master of Mankind is the best audio book. You need to get it ASAP. Jonathan Keeble's masterpiece, in my opinion. Nice. Well, I'm looking forward to getting there. When I hit it, I'm looking forward to listening to it. Audio books. The other thing I noticed of listening to audio books as opposed to reading books is some books work much better as books, and some books actually work better as audio books. So No Fear, for example, because it jumps a lot, and also because the Mark of Kauth doesn't start until about halfway through. It's so much better as a book than it is as an audio book, and that is a Jonathan Keeble, Toby Longworth one as well. But it is much better as a book. And then some things like The Last Church are amazing as audiobooks, but not as great as the book. It's weird how that works. Like, and then some are amazing. Like Mechanicum is it's one of the strongest ones in the sequence. I think it's good as a book and good as an audiobook, which is interesting because Mechanicum is one of the Graham McNeil ones, and everyone finds Graham McNeil harder. Graham McNeil is a slow burn. A lot of his books are harder to get into at the start because he does a lot of world building at the start, but then he builds and builds and builds and builds and builds. And yeah, depends on the amount of character dialogue, perhaps. Yes, Damnation of Pythos is fantastic on audio. You see, that's the thing. Damnation of Pythos is one of those books that I recommend to stay away from if you're doing the entire Horus Heresy. And in book form, it's not. It is bad. But in Audible, when I did it in Audible, Damnation of Pythos was good. It works as an audio book. Yeah. And then Toby Longworth and Jonathan Keeble can lift some of the weaker books in the Heresy just by the fact that they're narrating it. Yeah. Anyway, where are we? I'm sad to inform you that I am, in fact, a gator. Definitely not a gator. Yeah. Talking about books, I need to tell you guys this one, actually. So, like, guys, homework project for all those that haven't done it. The ones that have done it, no. But, guys, you have to either read or listen to Eisenhorn, Ravener, Beckwin sequence, right? The Inquisitor. You have to do them. Okay? Homework project. Go and do it now! Schnell! Do it now. You need to do it. They're really, really good. Either read or audible. Both fantastic. When the Magos came out, so you've got Eisenhorn trilogy, you've got the Ravener trilogy, and then before the Beckwin 2 books, because we're still waiting on the third, a whole other conversation, but 2 of the books are out. Where are we? Night Lord's trilogy was narrated well. Eastern European isn't automatically vampire. It's thematic. Everyone isn't English. Talos voice is perfect. Blood Buffalo, yes. Like I said, So I like Toby Longworth and I like Jonathan Keeble, and I don't know who narrates the Night Lords trilogy, but it's good. I said that. Didn't I say that? I think I said that. Look at Night Lords trilogy. Who's it narrated by? I can't bring it up. But there I am. I've got like 4 hours and somewhat minutes left to the first one. Yeah, I'm listening to it from Thingy Bob.
and law to mankind. He will damn it through ignorance.
See, that guy's good. He's pretty good. Not as good as Toby Longworth, Jonathan Keeble, but he's good. Yes. What was I saying? Yes, that was it. Magos is goated. That's what I wanted to talk about. So before the Beckwin sequence came out, he released Magos. Now, Magos is a selection of short stories with Ravener and Eisenhorn in, and it's an omnibus of all the short stories, the Inquisitor things, and then at the end there's a 9-hour short story called Magos. And why it's called a short story when it's 9 hours long, I don't know, because 9 hours is the length of some full-length books from the Black Library. There's some Warhammer Heresy books that are 9 hours long. So you've got like 5 or 6 or 8 or 9 short stories and then the Magos at the end of it. And I read the Magos once. So I've done Eisenhorn Ravener, read them a bunch of times, and Beckwin a bunch of times, and read Magos once. Because it's like, okay, I've done that, dunk. And I did it years before the Beckwin sequence came out. Then recently, because I'm doing everything on Audible again, because I did the Eisenhorn Ravener Beckwin on Audible, which is amazing. And then at the end of all of that, I thought, well, I should really do Magos again. So I did, reluctantly, downloaded Magos, listened to Magos on Audible. Now, guys, homework project. If you haven't done Magos yet, and you've done Beckwin and you need to do Magos again. Because all the stuff about the Yellow King and all the little nuggets and all the little Easter eggs that we get in the Beckwin sequence, you get more of it in Magos. You need to do Magos again. I'd read it when it came out, haven't touched it in 6-7 years, only read it once, and then I did Magos again, and there's bits in there, there's secrets in there, there's got to do Magos again. So if you have done Eisenhorn, Ravener, Beckwin, hit Magos up again. It's really good. And if you haven't done Eisenhorn, Ravener, Beckwin, go away, stop listening to this right now, and buy or download or get. It's amazing. Great painting material. Great painting material. And then do Eisenhorn, then do Ravener, then do Magos, and then do the Beckwin sequence. It's amazing. Yes, by Maris Gage. Did you notice who the librarian was at the end of the death? Yes. Merity Chas. There's also the mention of Foe, Basilia Foe, in the Goblight series as well, but that's a whole other thing. You should do a shared library thing on Discord so members can send books to each other. Yeah, that sounds like it might be something that could get my Discord shut down. If people are sending books to each other without buying the books. Is that legal? Lillian Chase, yes, sorry. Yes. Wolfsbane is much better now than Cool and such. Yeah, I mean, the cool ones, the 2 Call books that we've got about Belisarius Cool and the one in the Heresy, but the 2 Call books that we've got have both been good. They've been good. Like modern 40k standalone books like Siege of Frax, good. Fall of Cadia, good. Plague War, good. What was that other one? Belisarius Cool, good. Lion, Son of the Forest, very good. Get bold and watch, read them all. I've read Eisenhorn, but never made it past it yet. I was thinking of doing that series or the Tanith series. Which should I start in your opinion? They're both amazing. Tanith is one of those. So Gaunt's Ghosts. I know a few people who don't get past the first couple of books because it kind of starts a bit slow. First and Only. The first book in the Gaunt's Ghost series is called First and Only, and it was the first and only book ever released by Black Library at the time. So they were finding their way, and Dan Abnett was finding his way, and he's famously quoted as saying he started off with infantry and guardsmen because he didn't know anything about the universe. So Gaunt's Ghost starts off okay, and then gets better and better and better. Vervenhive, one of the most best Hive Wars, gets better. Geryon, the Haunted House, gets better, but it's amazing. However, if you're doing it on Audible, in book 14, 15, they changed the guy for 2 books. I think it's Jonathan Keeble all the way through, and then right near the end, new narrator for 2 books, and then back in Anarch to Jonathan Keeble again. It's a big... It hurts. So Gaunt's Ghosts, would recommend actually reading them. Also, if you read Gaunt's Ghosts and get the books... Did you say read? I've read Eisenhorn. Yeah, if you read the books, so they come in trilogies now, like the Founding, the Saint, the Thing. In the omnibuses, in the Gaunt's Ghost omnibuses, they've also shoved in the short stories. All the short stories that Dan Abnett ever wrote as well. So highly recommend reading Gaunt's Ghosts, because you get more bang for your buck. You get all the short stories as well. And if you get it on Audible, you miss out on the short stories and you get a different narrator, like at the 90% mark in the series. It's annoying. Read Gaunt's Ghost. Eisenhorn, Ravana, Beckwin, Magos you have to do it. It's just, so if you're asking me which one, that one. Do that one on Audible or on book. Do it. Do it. You know what I mean? Do it. Spears of the Emperor, fantastic book. Love Spears of the Emperor. Anything by ADB or Aaron Densky-Bowden or Dan Abnett, I will lap up. Toby Longworth for most of Gaunt's Ghost. Yeah, I know, until it gets to the really end. Vopon Glory is good. Execution Hour by Gordon Rennie. I've read Eisenhorn and Gaunt's Ghost and loved them. Currently reading Night Lords, and it's great too. Your recommendations have seen me right. The Bobbins. Look, I've got you, bro. I've got you. Yeah. Eisenhorn, Gaunt's Ghosts. I've got you. Do that. Yeah. And then, next, the entire Horus Heresy. No, after that, do Double Eagle and Intercept City. You'll like them too. They're really cool. Spear of the Emperor is emotionally devastating. Wait, love Spears of the Emperor. Which book is that? It's a modern 40k book, ADB. Devastation of Baal on Audible is fantastic. The narrator is one of the weaker ones in the Heresy, but he's brilliant. Yeah, but you need to do Dante, then Devastation of Baal, and I thought Devastation of Baal was okay. I know a lot of people like Devastation of Baal, but maybe it's because I've had the Uriel Ventris series and I've had a world get devastated by Tyranids before. So when it came around to Devastation of Baal, I was like, well, I've been here before. Maybe that's what it is. And I like Uriel Ventris. It's very Graham McNeil and gets a bit weird in places, particularly in book 3. But yeah, we love. But you guys got to do Magos. You got to do Eisenhorn. You got to do Ravana. You got to do things. Some people prefer Eisenhorn to Ravana. Some people prefer Ravana to Eisenhorn. Some people think the first person Eisenhorn is the wrong style. It's just. But if you do them all in one hit, there's ideas and there's Annuncia in there. There's links back to the Heresy. There's it's good. It's very, very good. It's very good. What else? Swords of Calth was sadly a bit novelty. I love Uriel. Yeah, Uriel Ventris it's good. I wouldn't say Uriel Ventris is Graham McNeill's best work, but I like Ultramarines. I like Space Marines. And Uriel Ventris is an interesting character. What else? Yes, guys, for those of you watching and for those of you in the VOD squad watching this afterwards, I am running a narrative event at Element Games in Manchester on September the 27th and 28th this year. It's a 2-day narrative event. There's still tickets remaining. I think there's like 13 tickets remaining last time I checked. 2-day narrative event with me, your host, Winters SEO. So if you'd like to come to the first narrative event that I've run in 3 or 4 years, which isn't a tournament, then go to marchofwar.co.uk, because I'm running it with James from marchofwar.co.uk. So go to marchofwar.co.uk and click on the events tab at the top, and then you can find out about the event that I'm running at Element Games in Manchester. 2 days. It's not a tournament. There's going to be no prizes for first place, no prizes for last place. It is a narrative event. Just my ticket an hour ago, says Padrowan. Nice. Well, I will see you there. I really enjoyed doing the narrative events back in the day. I'm really looking forward to this one. So it's called The End and the Death. It is a 40k narrative event, and there are some restrictions around it. You can't bring name characters, epic heroes. You can't bring any Titanic units or great demons. The idea is we don't want any of the big stuff, and we don't want any of the name stuff. We want this to be about your story, your heroes, your journey on the doomed planet of Gehenna, a post-apocalyptic, grimdark, nuclear wasteland where everyone's dead, where your warbands factions are the only things left alive on this planet, while the ticking clock of the warp storm, the Great Rift, is getting closer and closer and closer, and everyone's gonna die. Maybe. That it gets about as grimdark as it can. And so there's going to be some twists and turns and some narrative hooks and things. I know it's a 2-day event, 4 games, 2,000 points each. It's going to be so much fun. I'm looking forward to hearing some of the stories and the tales that come out of that. Because of 100 people in a room, there's going to be some weird stuff happening. There's going to be some excellent twists and turns. And it's lovely. We have to keep reminding him to do a recap video about what happened. I need to do a recap video about what happened as well. Winters, tell my missus to let me go. I'll give her a hotel room with service. Mrs. Gage, Marius is allowed to go. He will not only give you a hotel room with service, he will also book in a spa weekend for you as well. He will come along to the narrative event. You'll get a full spa weekend treatment. He will roll dice, get sweaty, and you will go to your spa thing and get sweaty in a sauna and have some man with big hands rub lotion into you from head to toe. And you'll drink things like kale and yak vomit smoothies. You'll have your eyelids plucked and your earlobes vacuumed. You'll come away from there refreshed, cling wrapped, and poggers. You'll be full of life and vim and vigor. Marius will come away from the weekend a broken and wrecked man with tears in his eyes about what could have been, about what should have been, about how his whole army was destroyed and left to die on the surface of Gehenna. But they will be tears of joy, tears of happiness. He'll come away with such great memories. And you can do it again next year if I do another one, if it's if it goes down well. Warhammer 40k horror stories are really cool, especially the ones where Tyranid ship eats all the space. Yeah. There's a Chris Rate book called Bloodlines. Chris Rate, Bloodlines. It's Warhammer 40k detective series. Highly recommended. 10 out of 10. Massages? Who's spent sending foot massages? Foot massage? Marcellus Wallace's wife got a foot massage. Might try that with the missus and throw in £2,000 airfare. Wish me luck. Yeah, good luck, Stuart. You could leave her there in the Hobbit hole and then just get on a plane. £2,000 airfare, 2 day. Yeah, fly all the way to the UK. She'll leave. She'll probably be quite happy that you've left her alone for the weekend, to be honest. Can I go to the... Yes. Pete, the phenomenon, thank you for your donation, Pete. I don't know what it's for, but thank you. It's just $2 super. Thank you for your super chat. She says no to the kale, but I think I'm in there now. Mrs. Gage, you know you want that spa weekend. You do. And Marius, he wants to roll dice and get sweaty with men. He does. So just it's important as well for couples to have time apart from time to time so they miss each other. So they can tell each other stories about the adventures that they had while they're apart. It's hard to tell if you're doing all the adventures together all the time. Hey, do you remember that time we slayed the dragon? Yeah, I was there. Hey, do you remember the time when you shall not... Yeah, I was there. But if you go off on different side quests, then you come back and look, I slayed a dragon. Did you really? Well, I stole the money from the Goblin King. You've got to have the stories to tell each other. It's important that you let him go to these things. And I think it's just as equally important that you get your foot massage. Like Marcellus is Wallace's wife. 5k airfare from New Zealand. 6k. £6,000. I think that's the problem of living in New Zealand, really. It's just how far away you are from everything. You might as well be in the Halo stars, you know? My house would be destroyed if I let her and the teenager... If I left her and the teenager for any length of time. I've met your son, and he was lovely and well behaved. I'm sure it wouldn't be destroyed. And I met your wife as well. And you. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell the entire internet. Lol, I'll take... What is... Pay the Paco the taco... Paco the taco bender. Is that your net pack? What was that for? You all make more than me. Start super chatting to me. Okay. Yep, I live in the Halo stars and it's just as horrific. Yep, almost a year ago now. That went fast. Yep. Yeah, man. While you were swinging by the UK. He swung by. Cup of tea. It was lovely. We chatted. It was nice. Paco the taco bender. You got it. Right. Paco the taco bender. I'm never going to remember that. And every live chat going onwards, it's going to come up and I'm going to be Paco. It's just, it's words and it's up there and there's no full stops. There's no, yes. It's a confusing one, but I like it. Paco the taco bender. Yeah, I do like, yeah. Doesn't that make the UK is the Imperial Palace. The UK is the Imperial Palace. We are the UK is Terra. The Imperial Palace. Nottingham is the Golden Throne. You said it right last week, Winters. I know. I sometimes say the words right and then I often say the words wrong. In the middle of a battle report, I'll be filming a thing and say the thing, and then 10 minutes later I'll be filming the same thing and I'll say the wrong thing. On the same day, at the same time, in the same breath. Words are hard. Just like your bat reps, it only gets better when you get kerfuffled. I get kerfuffled all the time. There's 7 things going on in my brain, okay? I'm trying to play a game. And I'm trying to remember all the rules, which change all the time. And then I'm trying to film and I'm looking at the angle of the dangle to make sure that the angle is right. I'm also thinking about what I said before and what I'm going to say afterwards and trying to pull a story together. I'm also trying to amuse my opponent, make sure that they're having a great time, because one of the most important things to do when you're wargaming is to make sure your opponent has the best possible time they can, because you enjoy yourself the most when your opponents are enjoying yourself the most. If you all have a game of Family Scrabble and everyone's throwing all the bits around and screaming at each other, that's not a fun game of Family Scrabble. But if you have a nice fun game of Family Scrabble and people are drunk and throwing bits around at each other and their food, you're having a great time. You have your best games when your opponents have your best games. So I'm normally running around naked, smothered in peanut butter, making sure that they're laughing nervously or hiding in a corner. We're doing it. There's 78 things, and then the cat screams and tries to come in. He's snoring right now rather loudly. There's things going on while I'm filming the thing, and that's why the names get kerfuffled. I don't know how you read through the camera. That's already 3.5. Yeah, I don't know how to read dice through the camera. That's the other thing, reading dice through the camera, and that's 4 6s, and then no, it's 3 6s, and then the thing, and it's another. It's peanut butter. We like what? What did I say? Something about peanut butter. Drinking some cold ones while rolling some dice. That's all we need. Yes. Drinking some cold ones while rolling some dice. It's like that's peak 40k there. Yes. Peak 40k. What did we do? We did the narrative event. I mentioned the narrative event. I did it a bit late in the stream, the narrative event. I should have mentioned that earlier in the stream. I mentioned the Adepticon things. We sort of touched on Adepticon. Magos I've got on my list because I really wanted to encourage you. Magos hit me just how good it was the second time. So you need to do Magos and Eisenhorn and Ravener, and everyone who hasn't done Eisenhorn Ravener. I may have mentioned this already in the stream. Homework, go. I missed the bin. I got it in the bin. Empty jar of peanut butter. What are we going to be doing? Yeah, I did that. I've written down the dice roll rant. Maybe I can turn that into a short. I'm working on the Emperor's Children. They're coming out tomorrow in the latest battle report. The one at the weekend, I'm hoping to get it edited. Might be I'm sorry, but your bat reps are the gold standard. Oh, thank you, Damned Legion. Thank you. You're a bloody legend there. No, you are the bloody legend. Fulgrim soon. Yes, hopefully, because we're waiting for Wave 2 release of the Emperor's Children, whenever that's coming. I cannot confirm or deny anything about that at all. But as soon as I'm allowed to talk to you about the things, I'll talk to you about the things. But right now I'm working on... There is some infractors and some more... Because I got 2 boxes of the Champions of Slanesh things. So I'm working on all the things there. What else did I mention? Did I want to mention? What else did I want to mention, chat? What else did I want to mention? I can't remember what I wanted to mention. I think I wanted to mention all the things that I wanted to mention. Oh, yes. Tomorrow, Winter's Wednesday battle report for Tier 3 channel members and above is more Emperor's Children. The weekend's one, I need to have a look and try and squeeze it. It might be the Luton one. Me and Luton 09, part 2. That one, hopefully, which is a 3,000 point battle report. Hopefully this weekend. If not, it's going to be next weekend. When did the Heresy one come out? It was Heresy this weekend, right? The Death Guard one. So this one is 40k. Then in there, then Heresy. And then that one's going to be 40k. So this week is 40k. And then on Wednesday it'll be a Heresy one. And then next week it'll be a 40k. Yes. So I need to do the Luton one for this Sunday, which is 3,000 points. Need to edit that. Need to talk to Luton, get the data slate thing off of him. Need to sort that out. So that should be coming Sunday, and that was a really good, fun one. I enjoyed playing with Luton. You know what? Luton can really talk, and I can really talk. So the battle reports that I've done with Luton so far have taken like twice as long to film as any other battle report I normally film, because he won't shut up, and I won't shut up. And then we end up, and then we'd look back like, oh, 1 minute, and to go back and have a look. Where were we? What was going on? It's taken a long time. Because one of the funnest things about doing this hobby is chatting to other people about this hobby. Is Solgaro from one of the legions you have? Give us a hint. What legion he's from? I refuse to believe a narrative bunny like yourself doesn't have his backstory fleshed out in your mind. If you go into the playlists on Winter's SEO, more than Say Hi Paul? No, Say Hi about the same. Say Hi Paul can really talk. And basically, if I put Luton and Say Hi Paul in a room together, you could power the national grid. There is lots of backstory about Solgaro. In the playlists for the channel, there are some story time videos. And what I did was smash together all the story time videos. And basically, you can find out about a bit of the history from Solgaro in the storytime videos, me narrating some of the narrative. Yes, there's some backstory there. I won't spoil it for you, hoping that you're going to go and watch the storytime videos that I've done about the 13th. But if you don't watch them or listen to them, because it's a listen to, it's just, then ask me again next week and I'll tell you straight to your face. You come back next week and say, yeah, you know, the story time things that you told me to go and listen to, I didn't bother. I have to rewatch his story time. I don't remember it saying what legion he was from, or actually, no. Okay. It doesn't state. It does state. He does mention who his captain is. And then that gives away what legion he's from. Because part of the reason for him not giving his name is like, I've learned. One of the lines he says is, I've learned that names are power. Like, what is your name? He says, well, because the name Sol Garrow is, I was sent from the Sol system by Garrow. And then the guy on the cruise, like, Sol Garrow, just says these words. And then on the ship back to the face of the sea, the guys on the ship just call him Sol Garrow because he won't give them their name. And then he's asked, what's your name? And he says, Matthias, I'm not telling you my name because I've learned that names are power. And then he'll know me and he will see me coming. And I don't want him to see me coming because I'm going to kill him. And he says, who? And he says his name. You're like, ah. And that was his captain. So that will tell you what legion he's from. Yes. Anyway, are we wrapping up? I think we might be wrapping up. I've been banging on for an hour and a half. This top quality Warhammer content from Winters SEO. Thank you for being here. I've been Blue Dice. I think you do a D&D 40k campaign in Blue Dice. Yes, I am waiting for the Blue Dice from the thing. I really need to get in contact with them, by the way. Let's write that down. Dice. Because they are taking a long time. I have ordered the dice. I have paid for the dice. I'm waiting for the dice, just like you, Paul. So I need to write those things down and get in contact with them. Hopefully find out what's happening to the dice. Yeah, I've ordered, there's Blue Dice in manufacture. Last time I got a message from them was a good couple of months ago, and they said, hey, we're going to start manufacturing the dice. And then I haven't heard anything since. So hopefully they haven't taken a few £1,000 and then decided to skip the border like Jesse James. I don't know. Yeah, but dice should be coming. I need to get in contact. I've written it down on the thing. Contact the people about the dice. Thanks for reminding me. We need more streams, Winters. One doesn't cut it anymore. Your explanations make excellent pagan background noises. More streams. More live streams. You don't want more live streams. One's enough, isn't it? Surely. I mean... Yes. I can't... one's enough at the moment. You're the first person, by the way, the Eternal Crusader, to ask for more. So I think you're in a minority of one right now. So right now I'm saying, no capes! Never enough. Anyway. Yeah. More streams. Now you've started something. Anyway, I'm going. Don't cross the streams. Good comment. Thanks for all joining me on this Talkie Tuesday thingy bob. Read Eisenhorn, Ravener, Beckwin, or listen to them on Audible. And Magos. They're amazing. Happy wargaming.